First, I want to congratulate Friends of the Central Sands on the production of this wonderful video here, and I'm looking forward to see where it's going to pop up here. Is this the world premiere, Bob?
This is.
You can't hear me there. Now you can hear me. Okay, there we go. It's very rare when people can't hear me. Well, a number of things here. First, congratulations on this great job done. I can't wait to see where we're going to be using it next, to talk about this message that we have. Secondly, it's wonderful to look out here and see. I probably know half of this audience from one location or another, and to be with everybody. And the honest to God truth is how you make my career rich, that we're able to work and collaborate together, that you're out there doing hard work, and I get to chip in a little bit here and there to help you in your work to conserve Wisconsin's water and Wisconsin's water resources. So what I usually do, now too many of you have seen me do my gig already, and I have PowerPoint and pictures and graphs and arrows and all these kinds of things. And I do my science thing, and I'm kind of the extension scientist guy, da-da-da-da-da-da. We're going to do something a little different here today. Okay, and whenever I do my thing, by the way, I feel like I'm on a tightrope. I want to get the science out there where people can use it, but I also want to be courteous to the people, for instance, who are pumping groundwater. I want to be courteous to the people that live on dry lakes and streams and the critters that are out there. And I feel like I'm always doing a dangerous thing on this tightrope. I'm going to do something even more dangerous today. I'm going to get out of science, and I'm going to do a little bit of humanity and art. Two good reasons for this. One's I don't have a PowerPoint, so I'm kind of stuck here. The second thing, for those of us who care and love this beautiful little part of the world with its lakes and streams and wetlands, it's useful for us to think about what we do and why. And I also want to suggest that philosophy and art, they help us with a little ache that many of us have. These things that we love, these things that we protect, and when we see them being harmed, there's an ache. And perhaps, when we go to philosophy, when we go to art, it helps us deal with that, helps us put things in perspective. So where do we start? How about at the beginning? Every culture, every people that I'm aware of has a creation story, a creation myth. And while, I'm very taken by many of those in Native American culture, what do I really know? Well, I remember Genesis from being in Sister Mary Agnes's class in first grade. And have you ever noticed in Genesis all the references to water, either directly or indirectly? Let me show you here. You know how this starts, right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved across the face of the water. I love that, I really do. And God said, let there be light, and there was light, and he saw the light, and goes on from there about days and evenings. And so we got water mentioned the first time. Second day, God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And he called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. So we got two direct references to water here. Third day doesn't say anything directly about water, but this is the day, some of you know Bible way more than me. What happened on the third day? Okay, maybe you know. Plants. It was plant day. Plants got created. And of course, plants need water. And so I'll say, okay, that was kind of an indirect hit. The fourth day, get this, the fourth day is the only day where there's no kind of direct or indirect reference to water there. Here's what happened on the fourth day. Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark the seasons and days and years. And then almost as an afterthought, it says, oh, and God made the stars too. And then it ends, and God saw it was good. The fifth day, that was really something. That's fish and fowl day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. So there's a third day where water's mentioned directly. And it goes on. God created the great whales and every living creature that moveth. Sixth day, this is a big day for mammals. And creepy things, it says in particular, and humans. And I'll say, okay, this is a second time on the sixth day that water's mentioned indirectly. And so, if you're kind of keeping track of the count here, I said there'd be 3 direct references to water. And so far, there's been 2 out of the 3 indirect ones. And you know what happened on the 7th day? God had finished the work he had been doing, and so on the 7th day, he rested for his work. And honest to God, I'm not making this up. I was sitting in Sister Mary Agnes's class in the first grade, and what did I picture when God is having a rest here? That, he's laying on a beach, on a lake maybe like this. He's listening to water lap against the shore and staring up at the sky and feeling pretty good. Okay? So that's the water creation story that we've all grown up with. I like to think sometimes that there should have been an 8th day where God creates Wisconsin. Okay, I'm a scientist, I'm not a poet. But I wonder if it would go like this. On the 8th day, God said, let there be a land called Wisconsin, which means the gathering of the waters, and let it be blessed with fresh waters above all other places on earth. And God set forth mighty sheets of ice across the land, carving it to hold lakes, streams, and wetlands. When the ice was cast back, God said, let this land be blessed with 15,000 lakes. Among them, let there be 2 great lakes, so vast that they stretch from horizon to horizon. And let the greatest of these lakes be called Superior. Grace Wisconsin with 44,000 miles of streams, including great rivers called the Wisconsin, the Mississippi, the St. Croix, the Fox, and the Wolf. Give this land 5 million acres of wetlands, and give it abundant groundwater to nourish the lakes and streams and wetlands. And give Wisconsin a profusion of fish and fowl and every plant and wildflower to grace its shores. And often in the Bible, there is something at the end. It's a cautionary note. And I wonder if this little fictitious 8th day, we should have this in there too. God told his people, all this is yours and will bring you great comfort and wealth. But remember to steward my creation. Take, but not too much. I love this place called Wisconsin, and I suspect you do too. And I love my little sliver of Wisconsin south of Amherst, and I bet you have a place that you love too. Have you thought for a second, we heard this earlier today, what it means to love a place? If I might share with you, I stole from the Bible, I'm stealing from somebody else here, what it means to be a place. And I have a few copies of this essay. It was done by a professor of philosophy called Kathleen Dean Moore at University of Oregon. And she's been here a number of times and has read this essay, I want to say 6 or 8 years ago. And she explored this topic. What does it mean to love a place? And she wrote this essay when she was camping with her family, extended family, in the Pacific Northwest, I think just off the coast of Alaska. See what you think about this. In early morning fog, all I can see is a skim of silver on the water. I climb into the little rowboat and lower myself into the inevitable puddle on the seat. I love that, because all of us can relate to it. Paddle softly and disappear into the fog. The people I love will be lying warm in sleeping bags, listening for the lap of my oars on the water, but all they will hear are red-throated loons, yipping like coyotes. I love this. I've come to watch fog rise over the islands and to think about what it means to love a place. I want to understand the beautiful, complicated ways that love for people and love for place nourish each other and sustain us all. The ecology, one might say, of caring. I'm trying to be quiet so I don't startle the loons. I ship the oars and let the tide tangle me into kelp. My boots are jammed between gas can and the anchor. My notebook is on my lap, and little pains are fluttering like moths up and down my back. I open my notebook. Let's put this gathered evidence in front of us and let it speak. So I start 2 lists. What does it mean to love a person? What does it mean to love a place? Before long, I discover I've made 2 copies of the same list. To love a person and a place means at least this. Number 1, to want to be near it, physically. Number 2, to want to know everything about it, its stories, its moods, how it looks in the moonlight. Number 3, to rejoice in the fact of it. Number 4, to fear its loss and grieve for its injuries. Number 5, to protect it fiercely, mindlessly, futilely, and maybe tragically, but to be helpless to do otherwise. 6, to be transformed in its presence. Lighter on your feet, transparent, open to everything beautiful and new. 7, to want to be joined with it, taken in by it, lost in it. 8, to want the best for it. 9, desperately. We are born into relationships with people and places. We are born with the ability to create new relationships and tend to them. We are born with a powerful longing for these relations. That complex connectedness nourishes and shapes us and gives us joy and purpose. I know there's something missing from the list, number 10, but I'm struggling to put it into words. Loving isn't just a state of bliss. It's a kind of way of acting in the world. Love isn't a sort of bliss, it's a kind of a work. To love a person is to accept the obligation to act lovingly toward him, it's a she writing this, to make his needs my own. To love a place is to care for it, to keep it healthy, to regret every boot print, to attend to its needs as if it were my own. Obligation grows from love. It's the natural shape of caring. Number 10, I write in my notebook, to love a person or a place is to accept moral responsibility for its well-being. I think a lot of us, this helps tie our feelings together about our work and what we do. Despite sometimes feeling like you got run over and you're roadkill here, you keep at it. You love a place, you care for it, and you work on its behalf. You heard my little tale of the 8th day of Genesis, whereby Wisconsin gets created. I wonder if my little piece here, the little admonition about take care of it, might be followed by a tale of fall and redemption, like we also see in the Bible, and if it might go like this. And the people flocked to Wisconsin and brought forth every sort of commerce and farming, and the people prospered. But they fouled their waters, drained their wetlands, ruined their shorelines, dried their streams. And this saddened the Creator. He sent forth prophets, Leopold, Muir, Nelson, and Knowles, to show the people a better way. They were slow, but they listened. And in the 3rd millennium, they held great gatherings for water in every nook and cranny. Yea, did they converse in Madison, the city of the wacky and politically correct? Yes. And in Sheboygan, the hamlet of the Bratwurst and the Great Lake of Michigan, at the cities on the lake and on the great river, in the motherland of the brewers in the south, in the village of green and gold in the northeast, did they converse. And so did people return to stewardship of their waters. And God saw it was good. Thank you.